So the first question I have for you is how did you become interested in working in animation?
So I first became interested in animation when my dad showed me YouTube videos of Lego stop motion that people made just on their home video cameras, and I was like, I have to do that. So we got some cheap software and a nice camera, and I started making my own Lego short films in like elementary school, and then in middle school, I started dabbling in Blender. I went to this camp and they taught us Blender for like a week. And then from that point on, I was like, I want to keep doing this. So in high school, I just watched hours of tutorials in Blender and just kind of taught myself how to use it. Um, and then in college, I knew by the time college rolled around, I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Well, thank you for sharing that. It's funny when I've talked to people, people have told me about your love for Blender.
Yeah.
Like,
It doesn't take much for me to start talking about Blender. So
exactly. And so for you, during your time as an ATEC student at UT Dallas, how did that time help you out with pursuing your goal of working in animation?
I think the team projects really helped, be it the 48-hour competitions, the animation blitz. I did two or three of those. Those were really fun because you got to work with the team, learn how to like manage people, and just like the collaboration in that with the time constraint. Also, Anim Lab was super helpful for preparing me for the industry. I was the animation lead for animation and layout lead for Stargazer, which was probably the largest in scope an Anim Lab short has been, directed by Josh Slezak, and that was a really challenging project because we had so much going on. We had large distances to cover, flying cars, and yeah, just managing a team of people on that was super fun. And yeah, I think the team projects probably at ATEC helped me the most.
Oh, that's good. That's something I noticed too, just from an outsider's perspective of how there's so much involved with working on just something so short for an animation project. There's so many things that are hanging in the balance.
Oh
You have to
yeah.
manage all these different people, like different personalities, people make sure people's work ethic, like it's all falls in line just to make sure it meets the deadline. And so for you as well, just since you graduated, what has your career been like in the industry?
So after my freshman year, I actually got an internship or started an internship with How It Should Have Ended, a YouTube channel. And they didn't really do an internship program before. I just like sent them a cold email and got an internship. And so that kind of morphed into a part-time job during the school year and then more of a closer to a full-time job during the summers. So after graduation, I still had that. I'd been there for nearly 4 years at that point, and I really wanted to get into 3D. And so I went to Animation Mentor, took a course there on intro to acting, and that really beefed up my animation skills a lot and added a really great piece to my demo reel, which actually helped me get the position that I have today at Icon Creative Studio.
Oh, and thank you for sharing all that. And it's important that you mentioned that you have to do different things. You have to work on your demo reel. And it's not just about the classes, because I think that's what happens with some people. They just focus so much on the classes, but there's work you have to do outside of that. And it's good that you took the initiative to send a cold email too, so
Yeah.
that you're really wanting to be in this industry as well. And so I kind of have an idea what advice you're going to share. What advice would you share to college students?
Yeah, definitely. I would say send a cold email. The worst they can say is no or no response. I was very fortunate that they did respond. So definitely reach out to people on LinkedIn or find an email for a company that you want to work for and get in touch with them. Also, work on personal projects. You mentioned it briefly just now, but that definitely helps you a lot. On every project that I work on, I always try to do something new and learn a new skill so that I'm not just doing the same thing every single animation I do. I always try to push myself to learn something every time. And that really helps. That can help like exponentially like grow the quality of your work and the quantity because you'll get faster at things and you'll learn different things by doing more projects and pushing yourself to learn more.
And fighting complacency, that's the biggest takeaway I get from you, how you're willing to push yourself to learn even more. and that process is working out for you. As you can see, you're working on a good show right now. And so you kind of mentioned before how they just kind of, your first day, like before we recorded, they just kind of threw you in and you just started to work right away, but you're making those adjustments.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And also I'm fairly quick at like picking up on software, so I think that also helps too. And like processes, learning like Shotgun, Maya, just like learning other software can help you just like adapt to new surroundings. Yeah,
And for the animation people watching this, pay attention to what Nick is saying. All good things he's saying, and you have to have the strong work ethic.
definitely.